Look at this dog. What do you see? You see a pampered, frou-frou fashion accessory, right? You see a dog that belongs on a velvet pillow in a Parisian apartment. Well, that's your first mistake. And it's the mistake that leads to thousands of poodles being surrendered to shelters every single year. The poodle is one of the most misunderstood creatures on the planet. People buy them because they don't shed. They buy them because they're hypoallergenic. But within 6 months, they realize they didn't bring home a teddy bear. They brought home a high performance, genius level athlete that is currently plotting how to steal the steak off the kitchen counter. If you're thinking about getting a poodle, or you just brought one home, pay attention. Because the mistakes you're about to make are going to cost you thousands of dollars in grooming, bills, a destroyed home, and a dog that is literally smarter than your toddler. Here are the 5 biggest mistakes new poodle owners make. Mistake number 1, thinking the poodle is a lapdog. I don't care if it's a toy, a miniature, or a standard. Every poodle is a water retriever by trade. The word poodle comes from the German word pudeln, which means to splash. These dogs were bred to jump into freezing lakes and retrieve ducks for hunters. What does that mean for you? It means they have an insane amount of energy. The biggest mistake new owners make is treating them like a Shih Tzu. If you think a 15-minute walk around the block is going to satisfy a poodle, you are in for a nightmare. When a poodle is bored, they don't just chew a shoe. They engage in project management. They will figure out how to open the trash can, how to unroll every roll of toilet paper in the house, and how to bark at a frequency that specifically vibrates your eardrums. You need to work their brain. A poodle needs mental exhaustion. If you aren't doing 20 minutes of trick training, hide and seek, or puzzle toys every day, you aren't living with a dog. You're living with a ticking time bomb. They don't need a walk, they need a mission. Mistake number 2, budgeting for food, but forgetting the poodle tax. Everyone buys a poodle because they don't shed. And it's true, you won't find hair on your couch. But here's the secret. That hair doesn't disappear. It stays trapped in the coat. If you don't brush your poodle every single day, those hairs wrap around each other and create mats. These aren't just tangles. They are painful clumps of fur that pull on the skin. I've seen new owners bring in fluffy poodles to the groomer, only to have the dog shaved bald because the matting was so close to the skin, it was cutting off circulation. You are going to spend more on your poodle's hair than you spend on your own. A professional groom is $80 to $150, and you need it every 6 weeks, forever. If you aren't prepared to drop over $1,000 a year just on haircuts, do not buy this dog. Pro tip: if you see a poodle owner with a puppy cut, short all over, they are the smart ones. If you see one with the big, fluffy pom-poms, they either have a lot of money or no social life because they spend all their time brushing. Mistake number 3, failing the leadership test. Poodles are consistently ranked as the second smartest dog breed in the world, right behind the Border Collie. But here's the difference. A Border Collie wants to work for you. A poodle wants to negotiate with you. Poodles are manipulative geniuses. They observe you. They know that if they tilt their head a certain way, you'll give them a treat. They know that if they whine at 3 a.m., you'll let them on the bed. The mistake new owners make is being too soft. If you are inconsistent with your rules, the poodle will realize it within 48 hours. They will start making their own rules. Suddenly, you aren't the owner. You're the servant. They are highly sensitive to your emotions. If you're stressed, they're stressed. If you're a pushover, they're the boss. You need to be a firm, fair, and frequent trainer. If you don't train them, they will train you. And trust me, their training methods involve a lot of barking and stealing your socks. Mistake number 4, thinking they are independent. Because poodles look so regal and aloof, people think they're fine being left alone while the humans are at work for 10 hours. Wrong. Poodles are Velcro dogs to the extreme. They don't just like you, they are obsessed with you. They crave human interaction. Because of their high intelligence, being left alone in a quiet house feels like sensory deprivation to them. This leads to severe separation anxiety. We're talking about howling that lasts for hours, self mutilation, licking their paws until they're raw, and revenge, peeing on your bed. If you have a 9 to 5 and no one is coming home at lunch, a poodle is a bad choice. They need to be part of the pack at all times. They aren't outside dogs and they aren't basement dogs. They are in your business at all times, dogs. And finally, the biggest mistake of all, thinking a doodle is better than a poodle. I'm going to get some hate for this in the comments, but I don't care. I promised you the truth. People buy golden doodles or labradoodles because they think they're getting the friendliness of a lab with the coat of a poodle. But genetics doesn't work like a menu. Half the time, you end up with a dog that sheds and has hair that mats easily. You get a dog with the high energy of a hunting breed and the neuroticism of a poodle. If you want a smart, non-shedding, athletic, loyal dog, just get a poodle. Stop trying to dilute it. A poodle in a sporting clip looks like a badass athlete, not a circus performer. Don't fall for the marketing gimmick of a designer crossbreed that has no health testing and an unpredictable temperament. Get the original. Get the poodle. So, what's the verdict? Poodles are incredible. They are probably the most versatile dogs on earth. They can hunt, they can do therapy work, and they can win agility titles. But they are not low maintenance. If you are lazy, if you are on a tight budget, or if you want a living stuffed animal, do not buy a poodle. You will fail them and they will drive you crazy. But if you want a partner who can keep up with your hiking, learn 100 tricks, and actually communicate with you, then a poodle is the best decision you'll ever make. Just buy a really good brush. You're going to need it. Which breed should we expose next? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe button for the unfiltered truth about dogs. See ya.